I sound good? Valid.
You gonna do a countdown or just start? All right, cool. Mm-hmm. Hey, what's up, y'all? You are listening to your Mental Matters podcast. I'm your girl Mo, and for those of you watching, thank you for tuning in. We're back with another episode and a very special guest, Alex from Need to Know Pod.
Mo, what's up?
Hey,
Hello.
welcome, and thank you so much for joining.
Oh, I had to.
Um,
Yeah, I had to.
yeah, I really appreciate you. I feel like I just got super formal just now, but we was
Yeah, Mo, I'm not gonna lie. You just code switched crazy. I came on to your show, so I was following your lead. I'm like, why did she just switch it up like that?
Right, like we were just chopping it up, shooting the
Yeah.
breeze right before we started,
Yeah.
recording. But for some reason, I can't shake the formal intro, which I feel like
Mm.
I want to maybe get better at.
But you know what? Though? I respect it
Yeah.
because in this space, it's impressive when you can show that you can speak formally,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because everyone could kind of get to the slang
Of
and
course,
the
of course.
banter, but to see that you can speak formally, I like it. I ain't
Thanks.
mad at it.
Appreciate you.
Yeah.
Yeah, so welcome.
Thank you.
I
Thank
feel
you.
like right before we started, I was like, this is long overdue. I feel like I've been trying to kind of connect with you guys, which I feel like, well, you specifically, but of course, all you and you're one third of Need to Know.
Right.
But I had met you guys actually at a podcast mixer like years back. And
Oh yes, I actually remember that.
mhm.
It was dark in there.
It was dark as
A
hell.
lot of podcasts were in
I
there,
was
right?
like,
Oh shit, that was you.
that was me. But I feel like I was
Wow.
I feel like I was just in a different space back then. So I wasn't even super as
Yeah.
like social and networky as I am now. I
Mm.
wasn't really like that back then. I actually felt maybe like I might have probably been experiencing some imposter syndrome at that time because I'm a therapist. I'm in the mental health field full time. That's my like full time job. But like I
Hmm.
started podcasting as kind of like on some part time stuff,
Stuff, yeah.
And at first it started off just me doing it off of like the love and the passion about like speaking about mental health.
Yeah.
But then, as you start doing it, you get some like traction and stuff. People start
Paying
tuning in,
attention.
picking up. So I was like, oh, maybe like this could actually be something that I like really like invest in and stuff like that. So then I found out about the mixer.
Yeah.
And then we kind of, I don't even remember what year that was, but that was like
2019?
2019.
2019 feels right.
It feels right.
Like
Okay.
early 2019.
Got you. That
Yeah.
sounds, it was definitely before the pandemic.
Yeah, for sure. The
Yeah.
world was definitely still popping and open. I remember a lot of similar podcasts in our mix. And
Yeah.
NYC was in there.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So you just gave me a brain fart. I didn't even know that was you.
No, for sure. For
Wow.
sure. And
Yeah.
it was cool. It was dope. You and
Savon?
Savon.
Yeah.
You guys,
yeah.
I think I met you guys. I don't think Reggie was there or I didn't see her.
Yeah, I
at
don't
the
think
time.
Reggie was a part of the crew yet.
Mhm.
Yeah, because at that time we still had our old co-host, Steph Styles. Shout out to Steph Styles.
Mhm.
And it was right before like our transitionary period
Yeah.
with like new co-hosts and stuff like that. So even at that time, believe it or not, I'll speak for myself. I definitely was experiencing this imposter syndrome
Mhm.
for sure. Again, there was like-minded podcasters in the room, and quite frankly, podcasts that were bigger than us.
Yeah.
So just for you to even notice me and Savon for what we do and shit, that was dope. Because
Yeah.
even right now, like things are happening, things are on the ascension, but you still gotta like watch around, make sure you on your P's and Q's and shit.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And you guys were very like humble and nice from then.
Thank
And then
you.
now y'all are, of course, have grown and flourished like tremendously.
Thank
And I've
you.
been kind of locked in and tuned in since back then. But I mean, y'all just had y'all mixer and I was there.
You was in
And
there?
that mixer was fire. It was
Tell 'em,
popping.
Mo.
It was I had a good,
Mhm.
first of all, I was done off. I'm not even gonna lie to these people. The way how I was fried, I was like, I haven't been that fried in a long
Tell 'em,
time.
Mo. We was handing out shots, right?
Handing out shots, open bar.
Yes.
And then y'all had me drinking. I don't even know how I ended up drinking dark liquor, but it's because of these mixes that y'all had. The Alex, the Savon. I was like, you know what?
Yeah, we all made our own drinks,
was
right?
clever. I loved
yeah,
it. I loved
appreciate it. Thank
Of-
you for popping out.
Of course.
I ain't gonna lie, you be outside, Mo, because that's not the first time I caught you outside this summer. You gonna tell the people like the first time I saw you?
Okay.
Girl.
Thank you for that, because I was about to forget. So I ran into you. This was around probably May.
Yeah.
May.
May.
Because I know it was May because it was my friend's birthday that we were celebrating. We was at Nautica Mall.
Yes.
For those New Yorkers, if you know, you know.
Yeah.
Nautical Mall. It's on Long Island, but it's fire. Like a lot of people from the borough.
It's right near the water in Long Island. I'm just
Mhm.
trying to set the stage for people.
Yeah.
It's right near the water, and it's literally a strip of bars,
Mhm.
restaurants where you can just
Mhm.
go enjoy yourself when you're on that side. So
Yes.
yeah.
I love it over there.
Mhm, mhm.
You know, I'm a Queens native, so like I went to school in Long Island. Long Island is right like in my neck of the woods.
Where you went to school at?
I went to O Westbury for undergrad.
Get out of here. I went to Post down the block.
Right next door, actually. Really?
Real talk.
What did you study there?
I studied. I'm gonna be honest with you. I switched my majors so many
That
times.
happens.
I started off and still graduated on time,
Mm-hmm.
which is something I wear with a badge of honor to this day.
Same.
Even though I didn't pick up my degree yet. Don't tell my mom. But I know. But I started off as a business major.
Okay.
Realized that that's just something you choose when you don't know what you want to do,
Right.
and you just realize everything is business.
Mm-hmm.
So my sophomore year, I pivoted to PR.
Got you.
I thought PR was really gonna be my bag because I'm like, yo, I could kind of get around like
Mm-hmm.
the music,
Yeah.
or I could kind of get around people and I guess genres that I wanted to promote correctly.
Yeah.
But then I just started to realize that it was if you know, you know, PR is very like, what's the word for it? like a club.
Got you.
It kind of felt like an inside club. Like
Got
you had
you.
to know who was in there, or you
Mhm.
had to have a certain language
Mm.
to go far and go forward.
Mm.
So that kind of turned me off a little bit my sophomore year.
Yeah.
So then in the middle of my sophomore year, I pivoted into media studies and journalism.
Like it.
Yeah, so I
Mhm.
kind of finished that out. And I was one of those people, you know, everybody kind of knows the
Mhm.
people that take the communications,
Mm.
media majors.
Yeah.
Let's keep it a buck. Some of them people don't take it too seriously.
Right.
You know, Savon and myself, Savon also went to Post.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah. So Savon and myself in the media department were probably the few people at school that were really taking it seriously, like
Right.
going hard with the projects,
Mhm.
going hard with concepts, creating content, you know, really trying to like learn and be a presence, you know,
Mhm.
even though the work wasn't like trigonometry, but
Right, of course.
really just wanted to take it more seriously. So,
Mhm.
hey, I didn't even know you were right down the block.
Literally, and we didn't
Wow.
cross paths until later.
Yeah.
But I think that's dope though.
Thank you.
Like, I mean, I guess that speaks to just kind of like you kind of this path that you're on now, this kind of being something that it's not you're true to this, you're not new to this. Like you've been
Word.
kind of pursuing this
Yeah.
for a little minute. And I guess, you know, some about me. I minored in media and communications. My
Mhm.
major, of course, was psychology.
Yeah.
And then, you know, pivoted, went on. Like, because I think I was actually torn between whether I wanted to do journalism or psychology. But
Really.
I feel like my passion, like what I feel like my calling was therapy and like to help people in that way specifically. But I think that when I minored in media and communications, I saw some of that. Those people who were actually really, really in the media and communication space
Hard.
and going hard.
Yeah.
And the people who was just like, all right, I'm trying to graduate. This is fun.
Yeah.
You know, this is a
Trying to
fun
go through the motions.
yes.
Yeah.
And then yeah, but I had some professors, like I spent a lot of time at the radio station on campus and stuff like that. But
Same.
I had some professors who they was cutthroat. In the media and communicate, they was not playing.
I
So
realized they weren't playing once they realized you were serious.
mhm.
I learned that a lot. Like
Mhm.
I remember having certain professors that work at radio stations now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And you could tell they would turn it on if you wanted to turn it on.
Right.
Yeah. And it's so crazy. I tell people all the time, I wanted to learn more the moment I got into college
Right.
because now it was just more specified.
Mhm.
Like it wasn't just generalities. It was more like, all right, I'm majoring in this. And I know
Mhm.
exactly what I want to do.
Yeah.
So I'm like, whatever that comes with, I'm gonna keep doing it. You know what I'm saying? So
Exactly.
yeah,
Understood.
yeah.
That's fire.
You feel like because you're a psychologist now, you are a I can say that, right?
You could say
Oh,
you could
okay,
say
okay,
that.
okay.
Therapist, psychotherapist.
Therapist, psychotherapy.
I feel like
Yeah.
there's so many names, but it means the same thing.
Okay, got you.
Yes.
Because I be wanting to make sure I'm
Yes.
calling y'all the correct name.
Yes.
I want to like coming at me.
No.
Do you feel like because you're in this field that you're supposed to know all the answers? Does that bother you? I'm not gonna lie. I feel like if you was my friend therapist, I'd be treating you like a know-it-all.
Listen,
I know that's a lot. I'm sorry.
some of my friends they some of my friends do
Yeah.
that or have done that, and then I quickly try to reframe it for them. Like I'm a regular person just like you.
Mm.
The only thing is we just took different career paths. But I do think like I think at one point I felt that way. Like I couldn't mess up. I had to
Mhm.
present as like perfect, like I knew it all. But then after a while I was like,
Mm.
I don't need to pretend. Like because I think even with my clients that I have, I also sometimes try to just humanize my experience as well. Like I empathize with what your experiences. And sometimes I try not to do it all the time is like self-disclosure with clients because there
Mm,
is like just in the mental health field in general, there is like certain parameters and boundaries you have to
boundaries.
set with clients, right?
Yeah.
So I don't self-disclose often, but the times that I do, I'll maybe share something about myself like like a lot of times the thing that I say is I've gone to therapy as well. So
Yeah.
like I'm not sitting in this seat, suggesting this thing without any experience with having, me not having to do it myself. So
Yeah.
I think sometimes I do that because that can help in the therapeutic space. But no, I'd be like, yeah, I'm outside, I'm partying. I need self-care, I need to travel, I need to do this. And yeah, sometimes, and that's the thing. I don't feel like, you know, I guess I feel like I feel like I'm a pretty like healthy person. Like the things that I feel like I practice what I preach for the most part. I have my
Right.
moments, human moments where I'm not perfect.
Yeah.
I might mess up, but I feel like I catch myself quicker. Whereas like,
Mm,
nah, you can't do that. Because, I feel like I'm walking in my purpose
purpose.
essentially. I don't think I'm
Yeah.
just doing this as a job. You get what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So that's what it is. I think at one point I struggled with that, but now not so much.
It's kind of like a walk in the park now.
Mm-hmm.
That's fire.
Yeah.
Wow.
Thank you. Look at you interviewing me. First of all, let's knock it off because we about to get into you right now.
Art, you saw how I tried to Art, you saw how I tried to pivot on her, bro? I tried to
Listen, I was like, that was cute, but we about to get right back to you.
Shit, this girl good.
Listen.
Damn.
But I feel like we already
Yeah.
kind of got to know, right?
We
We got to know you a little bit, which is
Yes.
perfect.
Yeah.
And I guess we could keep going, right? I
Mhm.
definitely wanted to do the check-in. Like there's usually every episode I like to do a check-in, which is how are you doing mentally overall? Mentally,
Gotcha.
emotionally,
Gotcha.
overall, where are you at?
Whew, that is a loaded question.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man. Okay. You know what? I'm feeling really good.
Yeah.
These last few months have been really good to me. I'm gonna be honest with you. I move very fast.
Mm-hmm.
I tell people all the time, I really only sleep at my crib.
Mm.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So my lifestyle is very
Yeah.
up pace.
Yeah.
I have friends that work in the industry, music industry, podcast industry, which kind of makes me stay outside as well.
Yeah.
And sometimes it can feel like it's a lot to juggle work balance, life balance, personal space balance.
Mm-hmm.
As of recent, though, I do feel like I'm finding a bit more of a better balance, and
Good.
it's been helping me.
Mm-hmm.
But I've been working towards it
Yeah.
because before, I'm not gonna lie to you, I would say like, "Oh my God, there's so much shit going on," and I would just keep going 100 miles an hour,
Yeah.
assuming that something would change. Right? Isn't that insanity?
Right.
Like, how could something
Mm-hmm.
possibly change if I
Mm-hmm.
keep doing the same thing? Right? I know
Exactly.
therapists. I know you gonna tell
Yeah,
me.
you talking. You talking.
So I've been doing the internal work on just balancing everything. I'm not gonna I have a lot of friends. I help family frequently.
Yeah.
And like just working in the media space. I'm also at Sirius now.
Mm-hmm. I
So
saw
just
that.
thank you. I own a
Congrats.
music studio with my
Love.
friends.
Yeah. Love it.
So yeah, just trying to balance everything all the time can feel a little bit like overloaded, but
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm getting to that medium ground, which is helping me overall.
Love that.
Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah.
And I think you kind of just touched on some of the things, but I don't even think we did like the formal intro where it's like,
Mm,
who are you? What do
mm,
you do? Type of thing.
got you.
Outside of like need to know pod. Like,
Yeah.
how would you describe yourself?
Outside of the podcast?
Yeah, like who are you? What do you do? What do you like to do? Like those type of things.
It's so crazy. I had someone that I've known for a while
Mm-hmm.
who's never listened to my podcast before,
Yeah.
listen, and it was like, it's so interesting. You're the same person on and off camera.
Mm-hmm.
And I took that as the biggest compliment in the world.
Yes.
Like that person prior to this has no idea.
Yeah.
But I what you see is what you get with me.
Love that.
But when I'm not podcasting, I'm really big on music. A lot of people don't know how to produce.
Mm-hmm.
I learned how to produce in a pandemic.
Mm.
So when I can finally when I'm like there's nothing to do
Yeah.
and I block off time for that, I'm doing that.
Love that.
I work at Sirius now.
Mm-hmm.
I used to work for people might know me as Scream Man from the Joe Budden podcast.
Mm.
Yeah, I always forget
I
that.
think I heard about that.
Yeah. I always forget that was like my alias because I was really only called that on that show.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So since I've left Joe, I've been at Sirius XM, the radio station, and it's brought me so much fulfillment being
Yeah.
around music. As a kid, I was one of the people that I remember being in middle school with people like, yo, hey, like, like what's new out? Like, what's the new
Yeah.
music? So I started a music blog and learned how to make beats in about 2020.
Fire.
Yeah. So every Friday, well, Thursday nights are crazy for me. I'm literally up all night
Mm-hmm.
searching every sort of genre,
Mm-hmm.
just trying to see what's new, what's relevant, and I'll post it on my Instagram page and on my Twitter page.
Got you.
So to answer your question, who I am outside of podcasting is still myself, but I think you can tell I really just like to work. I'm one of those people that will find work to do and put it on my plate.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's because I'm Nigerian and they kind of
Mm-hmm.
and like drilled it in my brain, like to just never feel lazy or like you're not doing anything. But
Right.
boy, did that work on me. But yeah, outside of that, I'm just big on music.
Yeah.
I love my people.
Mm-hmm.
I really love. I'm big on the people that are close to me.
Yeah.
That's why I don't really get bothered by hate comments,
Mm-hmm.
Instagram, YouTube comments. It really does nothing for me. Quite frankly, I'm just glad that people are entertained, or if it invokes an emotion in them.
Yeah.
That's truly enough for me.
Yeah.
Because when I'm done recording, I'm right back to my life,
Mm-hmm.
trying to figure out ways to enlarge my coast.
Of
You
course.
know what I'm saying, and feed my tribe. So
Love
yeah,
that.
I'm me
I love that.
on and off the mic. Yeah,
Yeah. And
yeah.
I definitely get that from you. I feel like even
Appreciate that.
the couple of times that we mentioned that we've seen each other, your energy was just high.
Yeah,
High vibrational.
it's a
Like
lot.
never low vibration. Which
Yeah,
I think is a blessing because there are some people you come in contact with where it's like, ooh, they probably having an off day today, but I don't think I've seen that. And then watching the pod too, it's high
oh, high
vibrational. It's
vibration.
funny. It's
Yeah,
like, like you're on all
yeah,
the time,
all
which
the
I
time.
think is like a great quality to have.
Yeah.
And I think even you mentioning being Nigerian,
Mhm.
right? I guess, you know, even I guess a question that kind of came up for me was like, how does your family feel about you being in this realm, being Nigerian, where there are, and I'm Caribbean, but I feel like it's
Yeah.
somewhat similar, where it's like
Oh, it's
there are specific careers that are set out for you before you even could think of what you want to do, right?
that is correct.
So, like, how does your family feel about you being in this space?
So I tell people this all the time, man. And the Caribbean African space,
Mm-hmm.
it's the LEDs:
Mm-hmm.
lawyer, engineer, doctor.
Hello. Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
salute to my mother, man, because I will be honest with you. As a kid, I always felt pressured around the rest of my family members on where I should take my career,
Yeah.
what I should do going forward.
Mm-hmm.
But I grew up like single family house, single mom. You feel
Yeah.
me? So for her to kind of just work so hard and just really try to be there for me,
Mm-hmm.
but not necessarily try to force me what to do and how to do it,
Mm-hmm.
I think that helped me so much.
Love that.
Like so much. So the rest of my family, though, I'm gonna be honest with you, they still don't know what I do to this day. Like,
To this
to
day.
this day. It's crazy, but because like I'll run into people sometimes when I'm like crossing and like, yo, I love your podcast. I go run into my uncle. He'd be like, so MTA is doing an MTA test. If you I don't know which walk you are walking.
I'm
If you want to go out
crying.
and find a job, they are doing MTA tests, good benefit.
I'm crying.
And it's just like I've just I've just learned to appreciate it all
Yeah.
and just continue to keep doing what I'm doing.
That's it.
I learned at a very young age, but not in a disrespectful note. I got to live for myself.
Mm-hmm.
I have to live for myself. Now I don't know if me being an only child added to that mindset,
Yeah.
but I've always been like that as young. Like, listen, I want to respect everybody,
Yep.
but I also kind of want to do what I do. That way I could learn through my mistakes. But you know what? At least I went through it. I experienced it. So I could choose, like, all right, do I want to go through this door or that door?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I don't even let it bother me anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fire. I love that. And I
Mhm.
feel like similarly too, I come from a single parent household. And I think there's something to that, right? I think, and it could be like, at least these are my thoughts on it.
Mhm.
This is could be just opinion based.
Sure.
But I think sometimes when you come from a single parent household too,
Yeah.
the relationship, the mother and child relationship, or if it's single father and child relationship,
Right.
maybe even a little bit more closer because that's all you guys have, and so they kind of maybe allow more leeway or room for you to just
Mm.
be.
Mm.
Not all the time though, but I think from my
So that's an
experience.
interesting perspective because, like, maybe they wouldn't have a partner that would influence,
Mm-hmm.
right, you or them, right, and they
Right.
would just let you take more of the leeway. I can see
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. At least I think for in my experience, like me and my mom are super close.
Mhm.
I feel like she also had that mindset that, what about being an engineer? What about being a nurse? Those type of things, which I think came from other people, maybe that from when she grew up.
Exactly.
But I feel like when I decided that I wanted to kind of take the path of being a therapist, and I could choose to be a doctor if I wanted to.
Yeah.
That's more schooling, but I don't know if I want to do that yet.
Mhm.
Once I decided this is what I want to do, she supported it, rather than saying like, you
Yeah.
sure you want to do that?
Do that right.
It was like maybe those questions might have came here and there, but it was
Yeah.
very much so just kind of her trying to check in to make sure like
Sure, yeah.
I was sure about what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
But I always felt like we had that open communication. I never felt like judged and things of that nature about like my path.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think there's a special bond or relationship that gets formed when you come from a single parent household, even though of course it's unfortunate because coming from a family where there isn't two parents in some psychological frameworks is considered trauma, right? And so I do think like that's really interesting. But I love that. I love that you decided to kind of just like
Yeah.
take your own path.
I'm not gonna lie to you, Mom. I'm a little different
Mm-hmm.
because
Let's talk about it.
I used to.
Let's talk about it. Like
Oh, you got
how
me.
how you different?
Oh, you really want me to keep it a buck?
Keep it a bug. That's why we here.
I used to talk shit and look at like other men
Mm-hmm.
that grew up in the same single mom household that
Yeah.
I grew up in, but I don't know if soft is the word, but I just didn't like how they would blame the world for everything.
Mm.
I saw that at a very young age,
Mm-hmm.
and I never wanted to be like that.
Right.
For some reason, I wanted to be like a soldier for my mother. You feel me? But it's so crazy because it just made me strong as well.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna keep it a buck. I really used to look at dudes that like would just be sorrowful at the world, like, oh, I don't have a dad. I used to like shut up.
that's
I'm sorry. I know
that's the
not.
Nigerian part. Of you
Yeah,
coming
that's
out
the
right
Nigerian.
there.
I've grown. I've grown,
No,
Mo.
for sure.
Okay, I've
sure,
grown. But I
for
gotta be
sure.
honest with you. That's really how I used to look at other. I used
Yeah.
to look at it as a weakness. Like, why wouldn't you want to be strong for your mother? Why wouldn't you want to be what maybe your dad couldn't be, or even though you didn't have him there? Like, I really took that as a challenge as a kid.
Yeah.
So I never wanted to feel like I had anything less.
Mm-hmm.
You feel me? And salute to God. Like, I told you, I just came back from church before we recorded.
Yes. I love that.
I've always felt so protected because of God. Like, I've never felt like I didn't have a father in my life because of God.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't gonna front. I used to get into shit like as a kid. I used to get into like that's the old me though.
Get into fights and stuff?
It's just bullshit.
Mm.
Just bullshit.
Like what? Like you being mad cagey.
Statues.
Okay. All right, figured it. We don't want none of that. None of that smoke coming this way, okay?
But I really do put God first. Real shit.
Yeah.
And it's part of the reason why I think people think I'm always so even keeled.
Mm-hmm.
I'm never too high, I'm never too low because I really do put everything to God.
Love it.
Real shit. I don't fret. I don't get too, I just put it to God.
Mm-hmm.
And then you know what's crazy? He always figures it out for me.
Yeah.
So that when I started realizing that I could put my trust in the Lord, and then again, like the close people around me, man, then
Yeah.
I think I could figure this life thing out, even if I'm missing some people.
Of course.
You know?
Of
Yeah,
course. I
yeah,
love that. And
yeah.
when did you start on your spiritual journey, you would say?
My mom is a prayer warrior, Mo.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say as early as 10.
Yeah, that's fire. I love that so much.
Yeah, like she
Mhm.
don't play about God, bro. I think she really married to God for real. You know what I'm saying? I need to go check her marriage papers. She might be married to the Lord.
That's fire.
And it is fire because it's something that I've taken, of course, and I'm
Mhm.
gonna put it in my kids.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? Like we could be even layered people. You could be excited. You could be a little raunchy, but you could also give it to God
Mm-hmm.
at the end of the day because He could look over you and shit. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that's what that is.
I love that.
Yeah.
And I agree. I'm definitely spiritual. I come from a Christian household or background, I would say. And my mom was definitely a prayer warrior. I mean, that's how I really similarly got
Yeah.
into like just my own spiritual journey.
Right.
And I think for sure, I do think that's the foundation of everything. Like to be able to do so many things, I do feel like having like a source that's higher than yourself, and it don't gotta be God. Like people believe in whatever they
Yeah,
believe
whatever
in,
you
right?
believe in. Yeah,
But
yeah.
I do think that like having like even on a mental health level,
Mhm.
like spirituality a lot of times helps people through, right?
Absolutely.
And not to say, and I think there's this conversation about like God and mental health and like the dualities there. And I think coming from communities of color, a lot of times it is just pray about it and things like that. But I do think
Mhm.
that balance is important, right? Like, yeah, you can go to therapy, but you can also pray. You can also go to church. You can also do all of the things
Yeah.
that can help you to just be your very best. But I do think having a higher source, higher power
Yeah.
that you believe in could take some of that extra pressure off. Because if it's just you alone
Yeah.
that you think is navigating all of these things in life, you're gonna be tired.
You want to know a secret about me?
Hmm.
I can't start my day without reading 4 particular psalms.
Mm.
Every day I wake up, Mo, I wake up to 10 plus text messages,
Mm-hmm.
2, 3 missed phone calls, a bunch of emails.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna be honest with you, that is when my anxiety is at its peak.
Yeah.
And no one gets to see it.
Mm. Yeah.
As soon as my day starts. But you know what's crazy? As soon as I read those Psalms, I get this level of peace in my body.
Yeah.
I swear to you, it's crazy every single day.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, for me, it's more like it's crazy how some scriptures, some words can make me feel a little bit better
Yeah.
when all these life things are happening in real time.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm giving you too many of my secrets already.
No, I love it. I was about to say, read off them Psalms for us. I want to know.
Psalms, what is it? Okay. 4, 8, 23, and 24.
Mm.
It's every single day for me. And
Mm-hmm.
I just really feel protected after reading those.
Love
So,
it.
yeah. Even though I be with the G sometimes.
Listen,
Oh, Lord.
ain't nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, now balance.
Balance, okay?
Yeah.
Duality is a thing. It's
Absolutely.
necessary in this life.
I don't deal with people that don't understand duality anymore. I had to come to that agreement
Yeah.
a few years ago.
Exactly.
I hated kind of even dating people, friendships,
Mm-hmm.
and they would only see you as the way they met you.
Mm. That's craziness.
And it just used to bother me so much because I do that with no one.
Yeah.
I judge no book.
Yeah.
I have no pretense on anyone.
Yeah.
I believe anybody could do anything.
Mm-hmm.
So for me to see people I cared about kind of just put me in a box and just assume for me to have a certain maybe level of intelligence because I prefer to use slang when I just feel like not everybody should be privy to what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
Come on now, there's a
Yep.
reason. You know what I'm saying? So when I just realized shit like I'm like, okay, I don't want to be around y'all.
Yeah.
I only want to be around people that understand that people are onions.
Mm.
We are layered.
I love that so much.
Yeah, we are layered.
Absolutely.
Yeah, for you to just meet me in one version and just assume that's all I got, it's kind of insulting.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. And I feel very similar. That's why I think my circle or my core group of people who know, if you know, you know, right?
Word,
If you
word.
like, you know, but I do think there are certain aspects of myself that only the people closest to me would know and see, because I
True.
think sometimes people can't handle the other aspects of you. Like, wow, like you have all of this other side of you, and it's like, yeah, but I knew you wouldn't be able to handle it. That's why I ain't show it to you earlier. Right? But then, you know, sometimes I think that's where it's like, you know, I guess using your discretion. Because some people, I think, you know, and maybe they can handle it, but they're judgy or they don't understand, or they just, their mindset is just completely different from yours, you know?
Ready for this transition?
Hmm?
That is why I haven't been to therapy.
Listen, crazy part is that question came to me like 2 minutes ago. Like, have you been to therapy before? You haven't been to therapy because what? Because, you know, this is a therapy stand pod, okay?
I know. And I want you to understand, Mo, I stand it
Okay.
for everyone.
Okay.
I think therapy is super important. I am not one of those people that believes that like, oh, it's a bunch of bullshit. Who needs that shit? It's just a bunch of made up shit. I don't come from that school.
Right.
I be in my head too much. So hear me out.
Mm-hmm.
You know how you were just talking about like telling things to people and how they would take it and who you would tell it to?
Yeah.
I feel for y'all therapists, man. I'm gonna tell you why. I'm such a thinker in my head, bro, and I wish I could turn it off. I really try.
Yeah.
I go, where is Mo at in her life today to consume and digest what I'm about to lay on her? Is Mo even having a good day today?
Love it.
Does Mo have a next session in 10 minutes and is gonna forget everything I just threw on Mo and just completely repivot to the next person?
Yeah.
I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. Me personally, it's just been fucking with me. I don't know why, and I'm trying to get down to the, maybe you can help me, but it just makes me feel like, I don't know, man. Like, I swear that's really all it's been, because I like to talk, obviously.
Yeah. No, you're good at it. That's your job.
Yeah,
Okay?
I literally do it for a living at this point, right?
Yeah.
But I swear to you, it's just literally been like, who I'm speaking to and how they're processing this. Like, are they leaving this conversation and talking to their homegirls about it on the low, even though they're not supposed to be talking about it? Like, you know what I'm saying? I know, like, y'all don't do that to code. It's ethics, I understand.
Confidentiality, HIPAA.
HIPAA,
Yes.
right? But I'm gonna be honest with you, and I won't say that. I've been around some people that give up other information on people.
Mm.
So it kind of makes me like, damn, could that be me? You know, and I guess it goes back to me looking at those young guys when I was a kid and look at them as a weakness.
Mm.
I don't know. For me, it just damn, Mo got me talking on that.
Talk it, please.
For me, it just I don't want to feel like I'm being like when I'm confident enough to unload this to someone that they're receiving it as a weakness because I know this is y'all job.
Yeah.
I think that's another part that fucks with me as well.
Mm.
This is what y'all are supposed to do.
Mm.
Y'all are supposed to sit there and listen to me and tell me how something makes me feel.
Mhm.
The other side of my brain goes, do they really give a fuck about what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And quite frankly, I'm gonna be honest with you, Mo, I don't know if that even matters if you're supposed to care. Or I think, you know what I'm saying? Maybe you could tell me.
Yeah.
Maybe you're just supposed to offer, the provided help, but are y'all supposed to care about me for real? Really?
I think so. I mean,
Okay.
and that's where I think what you're saying is you're not wrong,
Right.
right? In how I think how you feel is completely valid, right? I empathize with it. I get it. It
Mhm.
makes sense to me. It doesn't sound far fetched at all. I do think in this field, right? And I'm giving away some stuff too now that maybe
Give it up. Give it up.
that maybe some
Yeah.
people
Uh-huh.
would rather me not say that are in the field is that some don't care. I'm gonna be transparent.
Thank you for that honesty, though.
Some don't,
Right.
right? Because I work with them.
Mm-hmm.
I've worked in uh clinical settings and things of that nature where they get jaded, they're tired, they maybe and it also depends on where you're working because I think the mental health field is so broad. You could be working with substance abuse, you could be working with drug addicts and you getting cursed out every other day, right? And so like after a while, you're human,
Mm-hmm.
it'll chip away at like just your love for the job. I've seen that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you get jaded, you care less, and I see that the love is and the care is not there, right? And for me, I've worked in those settings and I realize I can't be there because I'm around people who don't care as much as I do. And that frustrates me and allows that affects
Wow.
my ability to be able to do my job when I know I'm working with people who aren't putting as much care into it and who don't really care what
Yeah.
happens to the
Yeah.
people.
Right.
Right. And so for me, I worked in those settings and I removed myself. Right now, I'm working in private practice. Private practice is more kind of individualized to the clinician. Like I can kind of set up my own schedule. I take on clients like of course, like there's protocol for the practice, but
Sure.
I get some of the background information to the client, and I feel like it's me genuinely like when I take on a new client, I care about you instantly because it's like,
That's love.
yeah, I can make a choice here. I
Right.
can make a choice here whether or not I want to take this on based on my caseload, based on how I feel. Like I have that freedom to
Yeah.
do so. So for me personally, if I take you on as a client, I care. I'm ready for us to work on whatever we need to work on. And the other part is I don't tell you what to do. I feel like that's a part of me caring. Like honestly, like even outside of therapy, right? Like let's talk about relationships, right? Romantic relationships. I think you know that you love someone when you give them freedom. I think to be,
Me too.
right? I think the opposite of love is control, is telling you what to do, is telling you how to live your life, is telling you you're wrong, is telling you whatever,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So for me,
Yes.
and this is the way that I am, I think, kind of in life, right? And that kind of the way that I show up, similar to you, I think, who I am on the pod,
It's just what you're gonna get.
it's in me. It's
Yeah.
not me turning it on because
Yeah.
we're podcasting. It's in me, right? So I think like that's how I am in life. And I think that's why I'm constantly doing the work. Like I don't want to be a hypocrite in this field where it's like
Mhm.
I'm talking about certain things but not living it.
Yeah.
Though I'm human, I have my moments where I be, I'm not always,
Perfect. Yeah.
perfect.
Yeah.
But I think for the most part, I could say I have integrity. I live by what I say, right? So I think for me, I think similarly with my clients, I genuinely care about them and I want them to get better in whether that's if they're going through depression, if they're going through anxiety, if they're, having suicide, whatever it is, I care. And so help me help you. Let's work together. Let's figure out
Right.
what you need so that you can get to the space where you want to be. I don't tell you what to do
Mhm.
because I feel like once you start telling people what to do,
Mhm.
is you invested in a different type of way now.
Right.
Now, if they don't do
You wanna
what it is that
just
you want them to do, now it's just becoming more control. It's becoming like it's not the energy's not pure anymore, I feel like. So for me, it's what do you want to do? And I could have a whole other thought or idea about like how I think things should go for you to get to that space, and you could feel completely different from me, and I'm okay with it because and the way that I operate too is I feel like the client is the expert, right? I think
Wow.
I'm a professional. You know, I have my master's degree in this field. I've studied it long and hard, but I think people are the masters of their own lives.
Hmm.
So I don't feel like me as a therapist coming in, you just supposed to listen to everything that I
I
say
see.
and all of that. So I feel like we work together. It's a relationship that we're building to
Mhm.
get you to a good place. And I feel like that's what caring looks like.
Looks like, right.
But some don't operate from that lens
Mhm.
and do treat it more like a job. And I think that's what separates like the passion and the purpose part of it versus like it just being a job and career that you feel like can be lucrative for you.
Yeah,
Right. And
that's a good point.
therapists also don't make that much bread. So I want to put that out there too.
Pay the
Unless
therapist.
right, unless they're like maybe like, you know, getting more like certifications, they're going to school for a longer amount of times, they're doing
Gotcha.
other things on the side. I do think like there's just a standard pay rate for therapists. You could Google it.
Right.
And
Yeah. Bro, funny. She said, no, if you don't believe me,
listen,
you can just look it up.
right. So ain't nobody out here like really, you get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
you know, so I think it's interesting, but
Mhm.
I get the stigmas that are associated around it, especially for people of color. I
Right.
get it.
Yeah.
I get the reservations, especially because historically we know what we've gone through as a people,
Mhm,
right? Being
mhm.
lied to, being manipulated, being used for, you know, case studies and things of that nature.
Absolutely.
And so I do think the reservations around it make sense to me, and I have so much patience for it.
You made me realize just through that dissertation that I just want people that care.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe I'm just jaded by the world.
Mm-hmm.
And I just believe it because it's just so much bullshit going on every day that most, even therapists, just don't care.
Mm-hmm.
Especially, also ran into a lot of people that go, well, it's kind of like dating.
Mm.
Well, it's like, you tired of dating right now in your relationship. So
I've heard that.
So how many times am I supposed to reintroduce myself
Yeah.
to a new therapist?
Yeah.
'Cause I didn't like the last one. The last one had already known all my fuck ups in life.
Mm.
Now I got to go ahead and put this on another one,
Yeah.
hoping that they could connect with me.
Yeah.
But I'm not completely against it because you just opened up my eyes.
Mhm.
Let me tell you my other point in it as well, right?
Yeah.
Girl, I told you I got some points about
I'm ready.
therapy.
I'm ready.
Good.
Mhm.
Me and Ish, shout out to Ish. Ish is on the Joe Budden podcast.
Mm-hmm. I know it.
We just had him on the Need to Know.
Got you. I saw that one.
You saw that one?
I saw
Oh,
that
did you
one.
see?
I was in the airport listening.
Oh!
I like.
You was mad at us?
I was like, y'all are crazy. I heard
Y'all
y'all
was mad
got
at
into the
us.
therapy talk, and then they was like, your flight is boarding now. I
You
was
was
like,
tight.
listen.
Oh my gosh. So let me kind of preface the people, right?
Yes.
So me and Ish were having a conversation around therapy.
Mhm.
And shout out to Savon. Savon, my good brother Savon, man. Savon identifies with what's going on in his life. Even if he's like on 10,
Yeah.
he'll figure out what he needs to go do to try to improve it.
Yes.
So shout out to Savon. Savon has been in and out of therapy.
Love it.
And I think it's helped him a lot.
Mhm.
And we landed on the conversation when we were interviewing Ish around therapy. And the conversation we were having was basically like, me and Ish feel as if that as adults, we should be able to hold ourselves accountable to a certain extent.
Mhm.
Do I call that full therapy? No. Again, I'm not ignorant.
Yeah.
I never want to walk around like I don't know where you guys are coming from.
Yeah.
That's not my bag.
Mhm.
My whole bag being like, as an adult, especially in the Nigerian culture, when I was a kid, the way they bigged up adults,
Mhm.
they made it feel like the moment you turn an adult, you're like Superman.
Mm.
I can't explain it, but that's just how they make, like, that's just how the construct was in it.
Yeah.
So to my surprise, when I get into these ages in my 20s, and I'm realizing we're just aging, we're not maturing.
Mm.
You get what I'm saying? And I'm not one of those people. I talk to myself a lot. I don't care.
Mhm.
But that be me really trying to hold myself accountable.
Yep.
Now, do I think that's full therapy? Probably not. But I do stand on that, Mo. I do feel like there are people, I feel like all people
Yeah.
should be able to be like, you know what, man? I could probably do that a little bit better.
Yes.
That was wrong.
Mhm.
Just have some self-reflection,
Yeah.
some self-improvement that can come off as therapy for yourself.
Yeah.
I'm really big on that. My beef, shout out to all the single kids. They're going to be mad at me today. My beef is when people completely just feel like, and you made a great point about this,
Mhm.
they think the therapist is the save-all be-all.
Mm-mm.
When even a therapist is going to tell you to do the work on yourself.
That part.
You know what I'm saying? So for me, it's like, though I haven't had the liaison and the therapist, right, to kind of, point maybe or see where I'm at or see where my thoughts is at. Me and Ish just feel like, well, damn, we do go back home at the end of the night and go, you know what? That was wrong.
Yeah.
Come back better from that.
Love
You
it.
don't need to do that. You don't need to do better. So, my Savon wasn't really feeling that because he's been getting a lot of good work through therapy. And I don't blame him, but I do feel like it was an interesting point. I do feel like people need to hear that. And I'm glad you addressed it today.
Yeah.
The therapist is here to help you to an extent.
Yeah.
I'm so happy you said you're not here to tell a person what to do.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So I have beef.
Talk to me.
Memes.
Memes?
I hate memes.
Why?
I've never posted a meme.
They're funny.
That's the problem.
Why do you hate them?
That's the problem. I know I'm crazy. I know it's fun.
Funny.
To an extent.
What kind of memes though? Let's get specific.
All of them. You ready?
Ready.
Memes basically can condition you to feel a way about things, even if it's funny.
I get it.
You see what I'm getting at?
I get it.
I'm being constantly conditioned Monday through Friday, even if it's a joke.
Yeah.
Even if it's something self-deprecating.
Got it.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't realize how much of that you're ingesting on a daily basis.
Understood.
And because so many people will relate to these memes, they'll treat it like therapy. See where I'm getting at? So those are not those are not the people I'm referencing when I'm saying go back home and do the internal work on yourself.
Right.
I'm talking strictly to the people who are being real with themselves.
Yeah.
That is why I hate memes. I don't want to be influenced at all.
Yeah.
I want all of my thoughts to be my thoughts.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And some people be like, hey, you going mad hard. I'm like, I know. I'm being a party pooper, my fault. But I really don't fuck with me, especially like the toxic ones. Because it gets people into a very comfortable position in what they're doing.
Yes.
And that they don't have to change.
Yeah.
Because they're constantly seeing it. And others around them are reposting, resharing, agreeing with them. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
Those are like my qualms.
I hear you. I think that makes a lot of sense. And you know what? I think
See what I'm getting at, right?
Yeah, like
it's fucking your head up right now in real
that's a
time.
good point. I'm like, sheesh. Because the way how I'll be over there cracking up about these memes, but you know what I'm cracking up about?
Yeah.
Because of course, whoever the creator of these memes are, right? And I'm thinking about a particular page in like specific one.
Justin LeBoy, you can say it. That's my out.
That's your?
Yeah, it's my out.
Listen.
He don't know it, but
he don't know. But like,
and salute to Justin because I really don't have a real problem with him. I'm not. We all grown.
Right.
I just don't like how he's able to affect people on an emotional level subconsciously. That's the thing. Because we're laughing.
Yeah.
We don't realize it's a subconscious that we're still digesting.
Yeah. It's super influential. I feel like his page and brand and everything. But I guess the reason why it is so influential is because it's relatable. It's coming from a human place. But I do think a lot of it is toxic, right? And I think just to your point, what you and Ish were saying, right? I do think there are more people than not that like are not capable of going back home and reflecting on their own. And I think that's where therapy comes in. I think you and Ish being mature and not just aging but maturing and things of that nature, you guys can do that. You can look yourself in the mirror. A lot of times some of the clients, and this is just generally speaking, some clients come in and they haven't looked themselves in the mirror, or it's hard for them to do that.
It's hard for them to do that.
Right. And if they do it, they feel like they might crack, they might break because maybe there are things that they've just swept under the rug for so many years. And then to now have someone help them to expose it and bring it to the light is a lot. Right. And so I think if you're doing it bit by bit, like day by day, or you gain that kind of strength on your own, talking to yourself, like you said, which I think nothing is wrong with, right?
Thank you.
I do it often, right?
All right, so I'm not crazy?
I don't do it out loud, but I do it in my head where I'm just like, that was a little crazy.
Yeah.
You know, I think it's healthy to do that, right? And so some people don't. They just go on with life. They do the things. They're putting out unhealthy, toxic energy out into the world, affecting other people negatively, and they've never stopped because they don't have the capacity. They aren't capable, maybe because they've never seen it. The people that they grew up around never done it.
Yeah.
But I think there's a real strength in being able to look at yourself and reflect on the wrong that you've done and then unlearn and undo some of the behavior day by day. But not everybody is capable. So you have to kind of almost like it's just having that like extra empathy to say like, you know what, in a powerful position. You and Ish, right? You guys are in a great spot. And like, do I think that you guys can still benefit from therapy? Yes. But
Absolutely.
it's your choice ultimately.
But I do agree that we can benefit from it.
Yes.
Yeah. Like our argument was just based in, you're right, kind of speaking to the individuals and adults
Yeah.
that cannot.
Yep.
Because like, damn, by 20-something, 30-something years old, you don't
would-
want to be real with yourself
You
yet?
would think.
That shit scares me.
Some people think they being real with themselves.
That scares me.
It's
That I
scary.
promise you, that is one of the me getting old. That's the scariest thing that has scared me since becoming an adult.
Mhm.
Realizing we're all not maturing correctly. That's been fucking my head up.
Yeah.
No real shit.
Mm-hmm.
That shit has been. Oh, so we're just. So you 40 but act 12.
Listen.
Oh shit.
Listen.
Really?
It's happening like more than not. Right. And that's because a lot of times sometimes it's trauma based. Sometimes people
Yeah.
get stuck at whatever the point is where you were most hurt in your life.
Yeah.
You kind of get stunted there. Right. And then you're just kind of operating, from
real.
that space. But I think,
That's real.
the moment you allow yourself to emote, express, cry, like, just be human, you can begin to heal those things and then operate from an adult space. But a lot of people don't do that because they maybe don't have the language, they weren't given the space or the tools, because a lot of times, especially in communities of color, generations prior didn't have those tools either.
Yeah.
Right? Which
Yeah.
isn't, granted, is not an excuse.
Sure.
Right? It's not an excuse, but I think it is an answer or a reason as to why there's so many people who aren't capable of like just sitting down with themselves and being real with themselves. They rather, the lie feels better. It feels comfortable.
Yeah, I realized that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't ever want to live there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't ever want to live there. I'm constantly trying to be better. I'm constantly trying to evolve.
Yep.
I don't know. I like it here though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I appreciate you for all that you shared, like,
What?
so far.
You don't got no more? Come on, give me
Listen, I got more. I had some
Alright.
questions for us.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, how we doing for time? We all right?
We all right on time? Oh, fuck! I bet. Art, one more. Two.
You know I like you, so I let you.
Ah, good look at Art. Good look at Art. All right, we're not gonna drag it.
Right.
We're not gonna drag it.
Thank
We're not
you,
gonna drag
Art.
it. Thank
You
you.
have another session?
Okay.
Ooh.
Yeah, we. All right, yo, Mo, ask it quick.
All right.
Mo, ask it quick.
So we're gonna go through a couple. We're gonna go through a couple of. These were actually supposed to be icebreaker, but we just gonna get into it, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm gonna just start it off. This is kind of like icebreaker style,
Okay.
right? So, for you, the question is: an emotion I feel but don't usually express is what?
Anger.
Anger. Hmm.
And it's crazy because my anger pops out in moments where I feel overloaded. So I'll just like pop.
Mm-hmm.
Like I did it the other day. I was on this phone call, then I had to go pick up a bumper from my aunt. After that, I had to drive to Jersey, and like I just had let out like, and then somebody when I was driving, did some wild shit on the road. I was like, oh, and I just let that shit out, and I'm like, sometimes acting like you got to smile a lot is crazy, but sometimes people take my passion as
anger.
As anger. So I think I've subconsciously learned how to kind of warp it and keep it a little tucked.
Okay.
Because I'm gonna be honest with you, I smile so much because when I do get angry, we taking it all the way.
Listen, it's usually the ones. It's usually the ones.
Yeah.
That's why I say when people quiet, when people happy all the time, when they're even
Watch 'em.
keel, don't play with those people.
Don't.
Because you're gonna really get what
you ain't want.
what you didn't know that was coming.
You ain't know was there.
Right.
You okay trying to put me in the box.
Listen,
now you gonna learn some shit.
I say that all the time.
Right.
All the time.
Yeah. So definitely anger. And I do want to exude more anger when I feel it. That's something I'm working on.
Yeah.
As opposed to kind of just like, nah, it's cool. Like,
yeah,
nah, it's cool. I'm king of Mr. It's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I will tell you about yourself though.
I love that.
Yeah, I ain't scared to tell you.
Yes. I think it's healthy to do that. Like, in a, of course,
in a healthy way.
Right. Respectful manner and things of that nature. But I think anger is a true emotion.
It is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Even if I and that's one thing about me as well. Like, whenever I feel something, so long I get the feeling out, I'm good.
Mm-hmm.
I am A-okay as soon as I get it off.
I think I feel that way too.
Right?
Yeah.
So that's more the reason why I do want to, like, when I'm angry, expose it.
Yeah.
You know, I think people are always so used to being mature and like speaking my way out of it that they just assume that I can never get there. So what I'm working on is getting angry in the moment, checking them like that,
Preaching.
and then keeping it pushing.
Preaching.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm trying.
Preaching. Because I feel like
yeah.
I've been there.
I know you
I'm
have.
there
I know.
often.
See, when you're so well articulated a lot of the time, they just assume like, oh, they would never.
I'd be
Okay. Oh,
right.
oh, I'm gonna show you
Like,
something.
you know where I'm from, right? I'm
Do you really like?
I'm
we
from
don't-
New York City. I'm Caribbean. Like,
Please stop it.
think
like,
about it.
Please.
I'm a therapist, so I'm gonna apologize after. But
Yeah, but
no,
I'm
let me
a,
stop.
but we nah, get your shit over. Yeah, I'm turning Mo out on her shit.
Listen,
Hey.
it's rare. It's rare that I
Yeah.
would lose it on
Right,
someone.
right.
But I do
But it's
correct.
a real emotion.
I correct, and I try to
Gotcha.
correct sooner now. Where it's like,
Same.
please don't do that,
Please.
because
I'm
I
not
don't
trying to-
I don't want to go there.
I-
I know it's come out before,
Mhm.
and I don't like it. Like when
Mhm.
I express anger in that way, where it's
Mhm.
very like visceral and
Yeah.
people are afraid.
Yeah.
I think I get afraid because I don't know if there's any limitations once I'm there. You get what I'm saying?
Absolutely. I couldn't
So,
agree more.
so that's where I'm
I
like,
couldn't agree more.
let's not do it.
Yeah, let's just keep it calm.
That's it. That's it. And so I guess I'll ask like one or two more, and
Okay.
then we'll start to wrap up.
Got you.
Okay. I like this one. This one is a little interesting. It
Mm.
says, I suspect that behind my back, people say I'm blank because of blank.
People assume I'm Hollywood because of this space.
Mm.
And I don't blame them for thinking that.
Mhm.
Just solely because, like how I stated in this episode, we're all jaded for real.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think people assume that about me. And not just random people that I don't know, like real friends that I've been knowing a long time.
Yeah.
Like they thinking I'm switching up because more people are starting to listen to the podcast.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Or maybe they just assume for me to be a different way because they've maybe approached other people in this space and
Yeah.
kind of got certain energies and
Yeah.
certain vibes off them. But
Yep.
yeah, I'm not like that at all.
Right.
Like I'm Alex all the time,
Mhm.
and that is it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think people really think I'm like fucking bougie too.
Mm.
Crazy, man.
It might be that LI energy.
Yeah, that Long Island shit.
Because people be like,
Yeah.
Long Islanders is bougie.
But you know what's crazy about the Long Island shit, yo? Long Island has so much culture,
A
so
lot.
many legends. I'm
Yeah.
talking Eddie Murphy. I was
Mm.
raised on the same block as Flavor Flav, Roosevelt, New York.
Fire.
Public Enemy, EPMD,
Oh, come
De
on,
La
Roosevelt.
Soul.
Roosevelt is the hood out there, though.
Yeah, Roosevelt. Yeah.
Like,
So I took.
I know my towns.
Oh, so you
out
know
there.
about Roosevelt?
I know about
That's where I'm
Roosevelt.
from.
Oh.
That's where I'm from.
So
yeah.
now I'm putting pieces together as to what you was doing back in them times there that you
Back
don't
in-
want to that you don't want to speak on.
Product and environment.
Listen, okay?
Yeah, man. So like for me, I used to get really angry
Mm.
with people in this space that would talk crazy about Long Island when they wouldn't talk crazy to Ashanti, who's from Glencoe.
Oh, for sure. Ashanti don't play around.
They wouldn't, you know what I'm saying? They wouldn't
Yeah.
do it. It sounds trendy. It sounds fly. Oh, Long Island, Long Island.
Yeah.
Long Island in the 90s was fucking lit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And we've I don't know. We've turned it into something else, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
No, of course.
Yeah.
Understood. I have a lot of respect for Long Island. I call Long Island a cousin. Queens and Brooklyn too. Brooklyn is another cousin, but they be
Mhm.
hating sometimes.
Yeah.
They be hating,
They be hating.
but we love Brooklyn still. We love
Shout out to Brooklyn. What up?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, but thank you for that. And one last question,
Sure.
and then we'll wrap it up. Let's see. Dang this.
Mm-hmm. Nah, ask it.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay. So what secret desire do you have that you have shared with few people, if anyone?
Secret desires I have
Mhm.
that I have. I really want to start. It's funny, we was talking about Roosevelt, Long Island.
Mm-hmm.
I want to bring something back to those places.
Mm.
Hempstead, Roosevelt are deemed as like, like the gutters of Long Island
Mhm.
and Nassau County.
Mhm.
You go to Suffolk County. I know, I'm sorry, I'm getting regional here a little bit, guys.
Yep.
Sorry. You
Yeah.
go to Suffolk County, you got your Wyandanch, your Brentwoods.
Mm-hmm.
What I specifically want to bring to Roosevelt is just a getaway for kids.
Yeah.
Where I'm from, it's a 2.5 mile radius.
Mm-hmm.
The biggest business now is a Western Beef
Mm.
supermarket
Mm-hmm.
and a McDonald's.
Mm-hmm.
We just literally built 7-Eleven and Dunkin' Donuts
Right.
very recently.
Yeah.
So most of the town is really just delis, abandoned buildings,
Yeah.
abandoned cribs.
Yeah.
And what do you expect for those children to get into growing up?
Mm-hmm.
2.5 mile radius. Maybe not everybody in their household comes from a specific amount of money.
Right.
You get bored and you get into bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
I want to bring back a creative center
Yeah.
to where I'm from.
Love that.
Like I said, I produce music a lot. I don't know if that looks like putting a studio in the creative space,
Mhm.
just something where kids in the community could feel like, yo, when I'm bored, I don't got to get into super bullshit because that's what we used to do. It was nothing to do.
Mhm.
It's literally nothing to do. Your mom's at work all day.
Yeah,
You feel me? You hanging out with homie and his little brother, his big brother, he bang.
that part.
So y'all get in this shit. Y'all just running around doing stupid shit.
Yeah.
That is something that a lot of people don't know about me. And the more money I make, I am going to plan a way to do that in Roosevelt, New York.
Love
I
that.
want to bring a creative space.
Yeah.
Because what else do you expect for these kids to do after school? Get into nonsense if they not, supervised or they got after school programs or anything like that.
Yep.
So yeah, that is big on my heart. I'm very big on giving back. I
Mhm.
can't wait for my bag to match that shit.
Oh, period. Period.
You feel me? God got it though.
Oh,
You know
for
what I'm saying? I
sure.
know he gonna cover it all. So
For sure.
that's really something big on my heart. Like for sure, for sure.
That's fire. I love
Yeah.
that. I love that so much.
Yeah.
No, thank you. And I it'll come to fruition.
Thank you.
For sure.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
No, for sure. And
Thank
thank you so much, Alex.
Come on, Mo. I
This-
had to.
This was amazing.
Really? You fucked with it?
I loved
I did
it.
good?
You did come on. Stop.
I gotta make sure this your shit.
This was fire
Ah,
though.
that's
Like
me
it was,
too.
I just love like when it's just
Yeah.
organic conversation. Cause sometimes,
Right.
people be a little nervous and
Yeah.
but I mean this is your
That's what we do for real.
territory.
Yeah,
For real.
that's
So
what-
let's really
No, our territory.
Yeah.
I love what you're doing here as well. I
Thank you.
find it amazing that you are a licensed therapist and you still find a way to get into the entertainment role and still help people.
Mhm.
You know, and I had to come do it. I ran into you twice. I ain't gonna lie, y'all. Yo, first time I ran into her at the club on the Nautical Mile, her friend was like,
We ran down. We was like, Alex.
yo,
Yeah, it was
they forced me to do like 4 or 5 shots. So then by that, I said, yeah. So
Alex was like, you know what?
I'm like, you know what?
we here.
Sign me the fuck up,
He
man.
was like, we here for a good time.
Yeah,
Not
well,
long
not
now.
alone. Let's do it. You know what I'm saying? So Mo, I appreciate you,
No,
man.
thank you.
And
so
thank you for
much.
inviting me on. I said this to you before. A lot of people don't invite me to like
You-
their pod, and I love to talk. So
Mhm.
it means a lot. I really do.
No, thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you so much. I
Thank you.
appreciate you for coming. And anything you have coming up or where
Sure.
people could follow you, definitely leave that.
Sure. Y'all can follow me. Well, follow the gang first at
Yeah.
Need to Know Pod.
Mm-hmm.
That's on Instagram and Twitter. Got to plug your people all the time.
For sure.
Okay, you can find me on Twitter and Instagram. That's Ball Till We Fall at Ball Till We Fall. Ball TILL We Fall. Yeah. I don't want to say what's going down soon, but just follow us to keep up.
Okay. You know I'm locked in. I'm tuned in.
I know you is.
I'll be there.
I know you
whatever it
is.
is.
Thank you, Mo.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Yes, thank you, listeners. Your Mental Matters podcast. We're out.
Later.
Woo.
Ciao.